All right, let's dive into this Vipassana meditation.
Sounds good.
It seems like everyone's talking about meditation these days, but um, from what I see in the articles and research you've sent me, it seems like Vipassana is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
So we're going to get into the specifics today.
It has captured a lot of attention recently.
For good reason.
And for good reason.
Yeah?
There's this fascinating intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science happening with Vipassana,
Yeah.
where research is starting to validate what these traditions have known for centuries.
Right. Okay. So you're curious about Vipassana. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot these days.
Right.
But what does it actually mean?
Right.
Well, at its core,
It's
about cultivating a very specific type of self-awareness through observation.
Imagine you're constantly reacting to the world based on automatic thoughts and feelings.
Mhm.
Vipassana helps you hit the pause button and observe these mental processes, gaining insight into why you react the way you do. This awareness is the key to breaking free from those unhealthy patterns and finding true peace.
We're not just talking about relaxation here, are we?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Think of it more like examining a complex machine.
Okay.
You're not just turning it on and off, you're taking it apart to understand how each part functions.
Right.
In Vipassana, you're observing your bodily sensations, thoughts, and emotions without judgment, just trying to see them as they are.
It sounds almost like a scientific approach to understanding your own mind.
In a way, it is.
Yeah.
And this ties into the ultimate goal of Vipassana, liberation from suffering.
Okay.
Not in some airy-fairy way, but by understanding the true nature of reality.
And how does Vipassana help us understand reality exactly?
According to Vipassana, reality is impermanent, interconnected, and often misunderstood because we cling to illusions about it.
Okay.
We create suffering for ourselves by resisting change and clinging to things we think are permanent.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. But I know Vipassana has a strong connection to Buddhism. Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vipassana is at the core of Theravada Buddhism, one of the oldest Buddhist traditions.
Okay.
This practice is rooted in a key Buddhist text called the Satipatthana Sutta.
Okay.
You can think of it as the instruction manual for mindfulness.
An instruction manual. That sounds helpful.
It breaks down awareness into 4 categories: your physical sensations, emotions, thoughts, and how your mind interacts with the world around you.
Right.
By carefully observing these 4 foundations, you develop deep insight into the nature of reality.
So Buddhism talks about dukkha, which means suffering,
Right?
and how it arises from attachment, aversion, and ignorance.
Yes.
Does Vipassana tie into this somehow?
Yes, directly.
Yeah.
Buddhism teaches that clinging to fixed ideas or resisting change causes mental distress. Vipassana helps us develop prajna, or wisdom, to see the impermanence, anicca, of everything.
So through this practice of observing our inner world,
Yes.
we begin to understand that everything is constantly changing.
Exactly.
And that clinging to things as though they're permanent only creates suffering.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that understanding is what eventually leads to liberation from suffering.
Yeah.
By seeing things as they truly are, constantly changing, we break free from those patterns of clinging and aversion.
Now, Vipassana has become pretty popular in the West.
Yeah, it's true.
How did this ancient practice make its way into the modern world?
It's quite a journey.
Yeah.
This revival is largely thanks to figures like Ledi Sayadaw and S.N. Goenka,
Oh, yeah.
who helped popularize Vipassana retreats globally.
Right. Speaking of retreats, you've sent over some info on these 10-day silent retreats.
Yeah,
10 days. No talking, strict rules. It sounds pretty intense.
it definitely requires commitment.
Wow.
But these retreats have a specific structure designed to guide you through the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does a typical day look like on one of these retreats?
Well, the day starts early, usually around 4 Barone a.m.,
Oh.
with meditation and chanting. The retreat is divided into 3 stages: Sila, Samadhi, and Panya.
And what do those stages represent?
Sila emphasizes moral conduct. No harming, stealing, lying, or any actions that would create negative karma. This sets the foundation for the practice.
It makes sense to start with ethical behavior. It seems like that would create a more harmonious environment for everyone.
Exactly. Then there's Samadhi, which focuses on developing deep concentration. This is often done through Anapana, which is focusing on the breath.
So you're training your mind to stay present, to resist those distractions that constantly pull us away from the present moment.
That's the goal. You're cultivating a calm and focused mind that can then move into the 3rd stage, Panya.
And this is where the deep insights start to happen.
Yes, in the Panya stage, you use the concentration you've developed to observe bodily sensations with incredible precision. This is where the real magic of Vipassana unfolds.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Can you give me an example of what you mean by observing bodily sensations?
Imagine you're sitting and you notice a slight tingling in your left hand. Instead of labeling it as good or bad, you simply observe the sensation. You notice how it arises, how it changes, and how it eventually disappears.
So you're not trying to change the sensation, you're just becoming aware of it without judgment.
Precisely. And as you do this, you start to see the impermanent nature of everything, even physical sensations. You realize that everything is in a constant state of flux.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. It seems like a completely different way of experiencing the world.
It is. And this understanding has profound implications. For starters, Vipassana has been shown to improve mental clarity and emotional balance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're not constantly reacting to every little sensation or thought, you'd probably feel more peaceful and grounded.
Exactly. We're seeing more and more research validating what these traditions have known for centuries. Vipassana has been linked to stress reduction, reduced anxiety, and even improvements in managing depression.
That's incredible. It sounds like there's a real scientific basis for these benefits.
Studies show that Vipassana can actually strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making.
So it's not just a subjective feeling of well-being. There are actual changes happening in the brain.
Right, and as you become more aware of your internal states, you start making better decisions, you're more present in your relationships, it creates a positive feedback loop.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It sounds like Vipassana can impact so many different areas of life.
It can, and we can't overlook the potential physical health benefits. There's evidence suggesting that Vipassana can boost immune function, improve sleep quality, and even help with pain management. It's not a quick fix, of course.
Right. It's a practice, a commitment to cultivating awareness over time.
Exactly. But the potential rewards are significant. You develop greater resilience, you're less reactive to stress, and you gain a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of everything.
So it sounds like Vipassana is not just about the time you spend on the cushion, but how you integrate those insights into your daily life.
Absolutely. That's where the real work begins. It's about bringing that mindfulness into every aspect of your life, from your interactions with others to the choices you make each day.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see how these ancient practices can have such a profound impact on our modern lives.
It is.
But I imagine it's not always easy to maintain that level of awareness.
You're right. It's not.
Especially in a world that's constantly demanding our attention.
Especially in today's world.
Yeah, it's like we're constantly being bombarded with information and stimulation.
Absolutely.
It's no wonder so many people feel overwhelmed and stressed.
It's true, bringing the principles of Vipassana into daily life presents a unique set of challenges.
Yeah.
We live in a fast-paced, hyper-connected world where stillness and introspection are often seen as luxuries, not necessities.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the real practice begins.
And that's where the real practice begins. It's about consciously choosing to cultivate those qualities of patience, resilience, and the ability to slow down even when the world around us is urging us to speed up.
Do you have any advice for our listener on how to incorporate some of these principles into their life, even if they can't commit to a 10-day silent retreat?
Well, even small steps can make a big difference. Start by incorporating short periods of mindfulness into your day.
Okay.
It could be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning to focus on your breath.
Right.
Or bringing awareness to your senses while you're walking or eating.
That sounds manageable. I know a lot of people also use apps to help them establish a meditation practice.
Those can be helpful tools, too.
Yeah.
The key is to find what works for you and to be patient with yourself.
Right.
Remember, Vipassana is a practice, not a destination. There's no need to strive for perfection.
It's more about cultivating that awareness and understanding over time.
Exactly. And as you become more mindful, you'll naturally start to see the benefits in all areas of your life. You'll be less reactive to stress, more present in your relationships, and better able to navigate the challenges that inevitably arise.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into Vipassana meditation. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basic principles and its roots in Buddhism to the potential benefits and challenges of practicing in the modern world.
It has been a great discussion.
Yeah.
What stands out to you from our conversation?
Honestly, I'm struck by the idea that true liberation comes from understanding the impermanent nature of reality.
Yes.
It's a powerful concept, and it seems like Vipassana offers a practical way to cultivate that understanding.
It does, and that's ultimately what makes this practice so relevant, even thousands of years after its origins. It addresses the fundamental human desire to find peace and freedom from suffering.
And for our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about Vipassana and its potential to transform your life.
I hope so.
We've included some resources in the show notes if you'd like to explore this further. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Great.